always thought I loved staying home alone, silence. Snacks. Movies. No noise, no rules. But that winter night felt different, like the house wasn't just quiet, it was listening. Outside, the wind scraped against the windows. The old wooden floors creaked like they were breathing under the cold. I was lying on the couch scrolling on my phone, half awake, half bored, that when I heard it, a soft sound, not from the hallway, not from the kitchen, from directly under the floor, tap. Tap. Tap, not like a pipe, not like an animal, it sounded like knocking. I froze. My house didn't have a basement, at least, that's what I always believed. I turned off the TV and held my breath. The room went completely silent. For a few seconds, I convinced myself it was nothing. My heart slowed, then the sound came again, tap. Tap. Tap, followed by something worse, a whisper, soft, breathy, right beneath my feet, so close it felt like the voice was inside the wood, "Let me out." My stomach twisted, the voice wasn't distant or muffled, it sounded like someone was pressed right under the floorboards. Face inches below me, I whispered, "Hello," silence, then the whisper returned, shakier. Emotional. "Broken, you left me here, don't walk away again." My knees weakened. My brain tried to explain it, old wiring, echo, stress, but my heart knew what I heard. Someone was down there. I grabbed a flashlight and slowly knelt on the floor. My hands were shaking so badly the light trembled across the wood. I shined it through a thin crack, and something looked back at me, eyes, white, wide, unblinking, too close, so close I could see tears inside them, or what used to be tears. I stumbled backward and fell to the ground, my chest burning. Then the voice changed, not sad anymore, not begging, angry. "You grew up, I didn't." The boards beneath my feet bulged upward, as if something was pushing from the other side, as if the floor itself was breathing, or trying to open. Cold air leaked through the cracks, air that smelled like dust. And soil, and rot. I ran to the front door, but when I twisted the handle, it wouldn't move. The lock was sealed tight. I never locked it. Something else had. My breath fogged the air. My hands shook so hard I could barely stand. And then, a whisper moved right beside my ear, but no one was behind me. "You shouldn't have left me here." I felt something touch the back of my neck, a cold presence. Like fingers hovering just above my skin. Then the voice said one word that shattered everything inside me, "Sister." Memories I had buried my whole life ripped open, a rainstorm, a small door in the floor. Two children crawling inside, one getting scared, one leaving, parents screaming, boards being nailed shut, me being told, "You imagined her, you never had a sister." But I did, I left her, I walked away, and I forgot. Behind me, the floor split open, wood cracked, dust burst into the air like breath after years of silence. From the darkness, a thin pale hand reached upward, fingers broken, skin dried and stretched like paper. She wasn't calling me anymore, she wasn't begging, she was coming out, and I finally understood the truth. There was a basement, but it wasn't underground. It was a grave, and I wasn't alone in the house, I never had been. I hate being home alone at night. The hallway in my house is long, narrow, and always darker than the rest of the rooms, like the shadows there are thicker. Heavier. Older. Even during the day, I avoid looking down it too long. At night, I try not to look at it at all. That evening, I was gaming in my room. My parents were working another late shift, so I kept the TV on just to feel less alone. Then the lights flickered, once, twice, and shut off completely. The house fell into silence. No fridge hum, no heater, just cold, empty darkness. I sighed and turned on my phone flashlight, and when the beam stretched across the hallway, my chest tightened, because someone was standing there. At the far end, not moving, not swaying, just standing, tall. Thin. Shoulders forward. Head slightly tilted like he was studying me, like he'd been standing there for a very long time. I whispered, "Mom." "Dad." No response. He didn't flinch, didn't step back, didn't breathe. He just watched me. The hallway felt longer, as if it stretched further away the more I stared, like space itself was bending. My throat went dry. I took a slow step backward, and the figure took one slow step forward. The floor beneath him groaned. I slammed my bedroom door shut and locked it. My heartbeat pounded in my ears so loud it hurt. I pressed myself against the door, barely breathing. Then I heard it, footsteps, slow, heavy, dragging slightly, approaching my door, one step, another. They stopped right in front of me, the doorknob turned, metal scraped, but the lock held, silence wrapped around the house, thick like fog. I covered my mouth to stop from breathing too loud, then a voice spoke through the wood, calm, soft, almost sad, "I know you're alone." It didn't sound threatening, it sounded disappointed, like I had broken a promise. I tried calling my parents, no signal. I tried dialing emergency, the call failed, the footsteps moved away, slow, dragging. Down the hallway, down the stairs, then everything went silent. Hours passed before my parents came home, the lights turned back on, warmth returned, the house looked normal, too normal, until I saw the hallway floor. There were wet footprints, not leading toward the door, only leading inside. My parents looked confused. "We found the front door wide open," they said, "but I never opened it. He didn't come in from outside. He didn't break in. He had been here, the whole time." And some nights, when the lights flicker, I see him again, standing at the end of the hallway, waiting. When my parents left town for the weekend, I felt free, no rules, no noise, just me, the TV, and an empty house. I didn't realize I wasn't alone, not even close. Around midnight, I paused my movie and heard footsteps, not outside, not in another room, above me, slow, careful, measured, but my house is single story, there is no upstairs. I stood completely still, listening, and the footsteps continued, pacing back and forth. Like someone was walking in a tiny space directly over my head. I told myself it was the roof, wind, animals, anything normal. Then my phone buzzed, unknown number, a message, "Stop moving. I can hear you from up here." My stomach dropped. My hands shook as I typed back, "Who is this?" Instant reply, "You live downstairs, I live above you." I looked at the ceiling, it creaked softly, a thin stream of dust drifted down, something shifted up there. The footsteps followed my position exactly. I stepped left, they moved left, I stepped right, they followed. Whoever, or whatever, was above me, was tracking me. Another message arrived, "You walk loud, you breathe fast when you're scared, you talk in your sleep." My heart froze, he'd been listening for a long time. Another text, "I like watching you, when the house is dark." A long scraping sound dragged across the ceiling, like fingernails on wood. It stopped above my bedroom. Slowly, I looked up, the ceiling panel above my bed was slightly lifted, breathing. Someone was pressing against it from the other side. I ran to the door. Before I could open it, one final message came through, "Don't leave, I've been living above you for months, you just never looked up." The panel shifted, something retreated into the darkness, and the ceiling went silent. I didn't call the police, because now I understand something worse. He isn't hiding here, he isn't trespassing, this isn't my house, it's his, and I'm the one living underneath him.